Om Shruti Smrti Purananam Alayam Karunam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Yesterday we entered into the 10th Anuvaka, and in this 10th Anuvaka we were trying to understand the Manushi and Daivi Samajna. That means the divine and human nomenclature are given for the sake of Upasana. And the text says that we should worship all these Brahman. So, hands, legs, ears, eyes, all these should be worshipped as the Brahman, it has stated. And now it has come to the Daivi Samajna. That means the divine nomenclature. So, what are they? So, the text says, Trupti Riti Vrushtau, Trupti Riti Vrushtau. So, the first one, so when it rains, we should understand that it is the Brahman because Vrushti is Trupti. Shankaracharya explains, Vrushtehe annadidvarena Trupti hetutvad Brahmaiva Truptyatmana Vrushtau Vyavasthitam iti upasya. So we should understand that rain is a cause of happiness to all. It nourishes everyone. So therefore, through crop, all the dhanya, it nourishes. So therefore, rain is the cause of trupti and it is the Brahman. Tatha anyeshu tena tena atmana. So similarly, in all the other also, we should worship them as the Brahman. Like Balamiti Vidyuti, Yasha iti Pashushu, Jyotiriti Nakshatreshu, Prajatihi, Amritam, Ananda ityupasthe, Sarvamityakashe. So till that link is given. And now it says that Balarupena Vidyuti. So we should understand that Bala Rupena Vidyuti. So we should understand that the strength or the energy in the lightning is also the Brahman. And Yasho Rupena Pashushu. That means one who has more cows, such animals, has more fame. So therefore that is the Brahman. Jyoti Rupena Nakshatreshu. And Brahman is present in all the luminaries in the sky in the form of that luminosity. Prajatihi Amritam, Amritatva Praptihi. So Prajatihi, that is Amritam. Why? Because through his progeny, he lives. So it is a kind of immortality. Putrena Runa Vimokshadvarena Anandaha Sukham. It is Anandaha because Shankaracharya explains that a person's children, when they pay off all his debts, it causes bliss to him. So therefore, Prajati or the progeny or children is source of his happiness. Iti etat sarvam tadha upastha-nimittam brahmaiva anena atmana upasthe pratishthitam upasya. So similarly, when one enjoys through his genital organs, so one should understand that the Brahma itself is enjoying everything through this. And it is established in every part of the body. Sarvam hi akashe pratishtitam atah yat sarvam akashe tad brahmaiva iti upasya. So all this is established or situated in the akasha. So therefore akasha should be understood as the Brahman. Tacha akasham brahmaiva tasmat tat sarvasya pratishtha iti upasita. So therefore this Brahman is the pratishtha of everything because it is the source, it is the place of everything. Pratishtha gunopasana pratishthavan bhavati. So naturally, whatever we worship with utmost bent of mind, we become that. So if we worship the Brahman as pratishtha, so we also get pratishtha. Evam purveshvapi yadyat tad adhinam phalam tad brahmaiva tad upasanat tadvan bhavati iti drashtavya. So Shankaracharya explains that in the previous sentences also we should understand that whatever benefits or rewards have been enumerated, so one should understand that when Brahman is worshipped in all this, so the worshipper will get the result. So if he worships the Brahman as Pratishtha, the worshipper will get Pratishtha. If he worships the Brahman as the source of all energy, he will get energy. So this way, the worship brings about the result, or it actually yields the result depending on the nature how it is worshipped. So, Srutyantaraja tam yatha yatha upaseva pati. So it is stated in another Upanishad that the Brahman yields the result in whatever form it is worshipped. So therefore, the kind of worship is very important. That's why in the Bhagavad Gita also it says, few people worship in the Sattvika method, some in the Rajasika method, some in the Tamasika method. So all the Tantric worship that falls in the Tamasa category. So it says Sattvika is the best because it gives safe result. And the Brahman should be practiced or as Mahayityupasita, then Maho Mahatva Gunavat Tadupasita. Maha means what? That which has the Mahatva, that which has the magnanimity. So naturally the person will get it. Mahan Bhavati. So he will also become great. Tan Manayityupasita, Manaswan Bhavati. So Mananam Manaha. What is Mana? It is nothing but contemplation, deliberation, thought. So a person gets more of it. Namayityupasita. The Brahman can be worshipped as Namaha. What is Nama? Nama means Prahvi Bhave, bending down or being humble. That is Nama. Namyante Prahvi Bhavanti Asma Upasitre Kama. Nama Bhavati. That means the worshipper will have everything subservient to him. That means everything will offer itself to him. Everything will bend down before him. Naturally, he will get more power. Kamaha. And if he worship Brahman as Kama, then he will get all the Kamana. Tat Brahmetyupasita. Why Brahma? Because Brahma Parivridatamam. Brahma is that which is all pervading, which is everywhere. So this way, if it is worshipped, we also get that. Tad Brahmanaha Parimara Ityupasita. Then he should worship the Brahman as Parimara. What is Parimara? Brahmanav Parimaraha Parimriyante Asmin Panchadevata Vidyut Vrishtihi Chandrama Adityaha Agnihi. So the 5 deities, 5 gods, they are the Parimara because they are Vidyut, lightning, Vrishti, rain, Chandrama, the moon, Adityaha, the sun, Agnihi, the fire. So these 5 gods, they again and again they are born. They are Parimara. And Vayu is also known as Parimara in another scripture, not in this Taittiriya. Because Saevayam Vayu Akashena Ananya iti Akasho Brahmanav Parimaraha. So this way, first the 5 gods, then Vayu, then Akasha. So all these are the Parimara because they are born and again and again. Born in the sense they take different forms. Evam vidam pratispardhino dvishantaha. So when a person worships in this way, then dvishantaha advishantopi sapatna. So all his kith and kin who may feel jealous of him, may not feel, though all these dvishantaha sapatnaha advishantascha. Enam parimriyante. That means they also die. In the sense, all his enemies and other whom he may not want, all these will give up their life. In the sense, he will have all his enemies killed, destroyed. And this is what exactly the Rudradhyaya Namakam Chamakam also says. Enam yam dveshmi, yancha vayam dvishmaha, yascha mam dveshti, yancha vayam dvishmaha, tam vojam bhed dhami. So it says, O Lord Rudra, you destroy all my enemies. That means who develop animosity towards me or whom I hate. So kill all them. So this is the general prayer there. Advishantopi techa parimriyante. So not only the hating relatives, but all the other will be destroyed. Prano va annam shariram annadam ityarabhya akashantasya karyaseva anna annadatvam uktam. So starting from the prana to the akasha, all these are stated to be both anna and annada. Uktam nama kim tena. Now Shankaracharya enters into an argument, a discussion. It starts with this. So the objector says, okay, if all these are stated to be anna annada, what then? Uktam nama kim tena. Then Shankaracharya replies to him, Tena etat siddham bhavati. So why I have concentrated on this, why I have focused this, because karya vishaya eva bhojya bhoktrutva kritah samsaraha natu atmaniti. So all this clearly tells us that all this bhojya bhoktrutva, that means something being enjoyed and somebody as enjoyer, all this belongs to the world, not to the self. The self is neither enjoyed nor the enjoyer. It does not belong to the self. It belongs to the world. So the world is the enjoyer. World itself is the enjoyed. Atmanitu bhrantya upacharyate. So Shankaracharya explains on the lines of the Advaita of Gaudapada also that all this state is only superimposed on the soul. Atma cannot be a doer, cannot be an enjoyer, cannot be a seer. But all this is superimposed. It is just energy. And who does all this? This is the mind that does. And manaha, that is antahkaranam, that does everything. It is the karta, it is the bhokta, it is the drashta. But because of its proximity, all the characteristics of the antahkarana are just superimposed on the soul. And what is the cause of this superimposition? It is nothing but avidya. Avidya is seated in the soul, while Maya is the very energy of the Brahman. So Maya belongs to the cosmic energy and avidya belongs to the individual soul. And because of this avidya, the soul temporarily gets all these adjuncts like I am the doer, I am the sinner, I am meritorious, I am man, female, etc. So all these are only out of ignorance he gets, and these are attributed. And bhranti, it is only illusion. Now the objector argues, Nanu atma paramatmanah karyam tato yuktastasya samsara iti. See, Atma is also a product of Brahma. So therefore, it is proper that the soul should get all transmigratory, that means cycle of birth and death, that life. So it is proper. And the argument, the arguer puts forth two propositions. One is the soul is a product of Brahma. Two, therefore, all this should pertain to the soul. It should not be an illusion. It is real that the soul has all the kartrutva, bhoktrutva, etc. And this only gets the moksha. So this way, Atma is a product of Brahma, is the first statement. And now this is against the Shankara Dvaita, because the Brahman being always partless, one single entity, there can never be a product out of it. So that's why the Brahma Sutra also tells us कृत्स्न prasaktihi niravayavattva shabda kupova. So Brahma is stated to be Niravayava in the Upanishads. And if we say that a part of Brahma becomes the soul, then Brahma becomes with parts. Whatever has parts is subject to destruction. So therefore, it ultimately leads to the conclusion that Brahma also has destruction, and which is against the Upanishads. So therefore, Brahma doesn't have any destruction because it's partless, niranjanam, nishkalam, niravadyam. So nishkalam, that means without any parts. Because how can we expect parts of the sky, parts of air? Similarly, Brahma also cannot have any parts. And in this sequence, another point is the soul getting all the bondage and liberation is also out of illusion. Gaudapadacharya also stated in the Gaudapada Karika that in reality no soul has any bondage or liberation. Shankaracharya explains, Nanu, na asamsarine eva pravesha shrutehe. It says, see, when it is stated in the Taittiriya Upanishad or the Chandogya Upanishad, the soul is stated to enter the matter, yes, but asamsari, that soul is not the one which takes the cycle of birth and death. No. So who takes? The Antahkarana takes. Linga Sharira takes. So therefore, it should not accrue to the soul. Tat srishtva tadeva anupravishat iti akashadikaranasya hi asamsarine eva paramatmanaha karyeshu anupraveshah shruyate. So this way, when it has created and entered, it refers to the Paramatma, not to the Jivatma. Anena Jivenatmana Anupravishya Namarupe Vyakaravani. This is actually the statement of the Paramatma, not the Jivatma. So therefore, who enters, who desires, the Brahman enters and Brahman desires. So this is actually the Chandogya Upanishad also. Same thing repeated in the Taittiriya Upanishad. Therefore, we cannot say that the soul which has all the birth and death enters into the matter. No. Tasmat karyanupravishto jiva atma parayeva asamsari. So therefore it is the ultimate theory of Advaita that the one who enters into the body, that means matter, and passes through all the bodies, it is nothing but Atma. Which Atma? Parayeva Atma. So Shankaracharya, to bring our attention to this particular aspect, that Paramatma enters into the matter in the form of Jiva. Therefore, Atma cha Brahma, Jivo Brahmaiva. So several times he reiterates, because Jiva and Atma, that is Brahman only. On the basis of all these sentences, Sruštva anupravishaditi samana kartrikatva upapattescha. And that the Atma is nothing but Brahman, because Brahman has created and Brahman has entered. Then only we can appreciate the statement also says that the one created and entered. So there are two activities. One is creation, other is entering. And only single doer should be there, single agent should be there of both the activities, because one who has created has entered. If you take Jiva as the agent of the action entering, then Jiva has created and Jiva entered. That will be the sentence. But all this context tells us that created. Therefore, Brahman should enter. Sarga pravesha kriyayoscha ekaschet karta tatah tva pratyayo yuktaha. According to the rules of Sanskrit grammar also, samana kartrikoho purvakale pracham tva. The tva which is there in the sruštva, drishtva, kritva, gatva. So that particular tva, sometimes it is štva. That is possible only when there is one single agent of the two activities. One is creation and other is entering. Just as when we say, aham bhojanam kritva agachami, I'll come after having my food, which means I am the agent of both the activities, coming and having food. Similarly here. And now the objector says, pravishtasya tu bhavantarapattiriti chet. It again argues. That means the Purva Paksha, it says, okay, Brahman entered because Brahman created. Brahman created the matter, he entered, okay. But after entering, he may have taken a different form, because till entering he was Brahman. But once he entered, he has taken a different form, Bhavapattihi. Then, na, Shankaracharya says, no. Praveshasya anyarthatvena pratyakhyatvatvat. That pravesha, already explained in the Taittiriya Upanishad previous anuvakas, that the pravesha cannot be taken in any other sense, that has been rejected. So that particular entering into the matter cannot be spatial, temporal also, cannot occur in space or time. So therefore, how Brahma enters into the matter? It is only possible only when we understand that it is the Brahman and it is projecting or manifesting itself as the Karya, that is Jagat world. Anena jivena atmana iti vishesha shrutehe dharmantarena anupravesha iti chet. Again, the arguer says, on the basis of the Chandogya Upanishad, which says that I will enter into the matter in the form of the Jiva, we understand that the same Brahma has entered into the matter in a different form. They're not the same Brahma. If before the creation, if Brahman was nirguna, attributeless, after creating everything, he entered as saguna. So dharmantara is possible. Shankaracharya says no. Why? Jiva has different characteristics. Brahman has different. So therefore, there should be two different entities. That's what the arguer says. All the Dvaitas say like that. Shankaracharya says, no, the problem is, after that, the Shruti explains and instructs as Tattvamasi, Tattvamasi. Thou art that Brahman, you are that, you are that. It is actually an instruction to the Jiva. You are that Brahman. And if Brahman has taken a different form, Brahman has changed, then Shruti cannot say that you are the Brahman. So when the Upanishad is teaching us that the whole individual self is Brahman, so we should understand that it is the Brahman who has entered into the matter. Bhavantarapannasyaiva tad apohartha sampaditi chet. Again a question. Okay, it is also possible. So if you think that there will be a contradiction or something going against the Chandogya statement of Tattvamasi, we can explain that also. How? See, the Brahman was nirguna, whatever that. Then he entered into the matter after creating it, entered the matter in the form of Jiva. Then Jiva is a different form of Brahman, different. And after that, now the Upanishad tells us, Jiva, you are the Brahman. That means, Bhavantara apannasyaiva, you have actually changed, but you are basically Brahman. So this way, if we can understand Tattvamasi, will it do? That is a question. Shankaracharya says no. Because Tat Satyam Sa Atma Tattvamasi Shvetaketu in the Chandogya Upanishad, 6th Khanda, Samanadhikaranyat. It doesn't say you will become that. It says you are that. So therefore, Jiva is not a different form of Brahman. It is the Brahman. This is the theory of Shankaracharya. Drashtam Jivasya Samsaritvam iti chet. The argument continues. The arguer again puts forth his logic, saying that, Are, how can you say that the Jiva is Brahma? Because Jiva, samsara, he has birth and death. That samsara cycle is there. Then Shankaracharya says, Na upalabdhu anupalabhyatvat. He says, actually, who observes this? Who has this knowledge of birth and death? As long as the consciousness finds birth and death happening, so long it is Jiva. So Jiva is a, and as long as there is this kind of experience, it is Jiva only. Then the Upanishad tells it, no, you are the Brahman. Then how to get that state? It says, just negate everything, understand everything as only a projection, mithya, and get established in the final form of that Brahman. Do it again and again. Brahma Sutra tells us, Avritti Rasakrudupadeshat, because it is not that only once done the meditation will take us to the Brahman. No, because every day, every moment, the mind will again raise up with all its impressions, vasana. So therefore, it is very difficult to train or teach the mind. So even if it gets knowledge one day, it is really great knowledge, understanding, and chilling experience. But the other day, everything changes because the vasana are very, very strong. And it is not very easy to go beyond the influence of vasana. But at the same time, it is not totally impossible because vasana can be removed. And the process is explained in the Yoga Shastra, Yoga Vasishta, Yoga Upanishad, other Upanishads. So gradually we should tame our mind like a lion or a tiger or any other wild beast. So when we are taming, we should be very careful. Similarly, the mind should be properly understood and tamed so that gradually it will lose all its impressions. And moksho nirvasanam chittam. When mind is devoid of any vasana, it is liberation. Now, argues and Shankaracharya says, Na upalabdhu anupalabhyamanatvat. The problem is upalabdha. That means one who gets is not found. That means one who knows, one who experiences is never found. Because when one tries to understand the particular Atma, he is the Atman. Because Atman cannot be any object of knowledge. So it cannot be outside, external thing. Even inside also, knowing oneself is not in two ways. It is single. That means Atma becomes the object, Atma itself becomes a subject and understands. This is not possible. So therefore, Atma can never be a matter of knowledge, they say. Samsara dharma visishta Atma upalabhyate iti chet. Then the arguer says, you say that Atma is not found inside. But we find him. We find as equipped with all the characteristics of samsara. That means karta, bhokta, sukha dukkhavan, etc. So all these are found in the Atma, and in this form only we understand the Atma. So Atma is found. Shankaracharya says, no. Dharmanam, dharminaha avyatirekat karmatva anupapatteha. So it is a very important logical thing that dharma and dharmi, two things are there. Dharmanam, dharminaha avyatirekena karmatva anupapatteha. So you cannot separate dharma and see them. And at the same time, you can have the dharmi on the other hand. No. Because dharma will be there in the dharmi. Dharmi itself means one who possesses dharma. That means like heat is the dharma of Agni, that is the fire. So fire is the dharmi. And we cannot separate the heat and fire and show them separately. No, not possible. So thus here also, if Atma has these characteristics, they can never be separated. And knowing self with all these is not possible because the knower himself is the Atma. So how can he see himself with all the characteristics? Ushna prakashayoho dahya prakashatva anupapattivat. So the example is clear. Trasadi darshana dukhitvadi anumiyate iti chet. If it is argued that we can understand the presence of sukha, dukkha, etc. in the Atma by the experience of that as sukhi, dukhi, oh, now I get pleasure, now I get sorrow, whatever it is, that feeling. So this feeling should give scope for the inference of that Atma. Shankaracharya says, no. Trasadir dukkhasya cha upalabhyamanatvat na upalabdhru dharmatvam. See, whatever uneasiness, unpleasantness, sorrow, sadness, unhappiness, when it is experienced, it's actually matter of experience. It cannot be Atma. It cannot be the property of Atma also. So therefore, on the basis of this, you can never surmise the presence of this Atma. Elsewhere, Shankaracharya explains to us that actually Sukha, Dukkha, etc. belong to the mind and the external objects, not to the one, the self. Because the same object sometimes gives pleasure to somebody, displeasure to some other person. So on the basis of this, we understand that these are not the property of the soul. Kapila Kanadadi Tarkashastra Virodha iti chet. If it is argued that if you don't accept any jiva other than the Brahma, and if you say that ultimately there is no jiva individual soul, your thesis will go against that of all the Nayayika, Vaiseshika, Sankhya, Yoga, etc. Because they are all Dvaitins and they believe in a separate jiva. And that jiva is limited, that jiva transmigrates, that jiva is the doer, experiencer, all this. And you are saying something different. So, does your thesis not go against that of these Gautama, etc.? Shankaracharya says, no, because Tesham Mula Bhave Veda Virodhe cha Bhrantatva Upapatte. See, we have already discussed, and at several places we have decided that the Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaiseshika, Mimamsa, all these are having no base. Of course, Mimamsa Shastra has the Vedic base, but all the other, they are not based on the Veda, Avaidika, and Mula Bhava. That's why they don't have any proper origin. And on account of this, we say Bhrantatva Upapattehe. So all these systems of philosophy, like Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaiseshika, are nothing but Bhranta, means an effect of or a product of illusion. So their teachers were not properly illuminated. They didn't have the enlightenment in the form it is actually required. And they have knowledge, of course, but that is not complete, and therefore it is only illusion. So therefore, all the while, Shankaracharya warns us against approaching these systems. They have their limited purpose, and for that only it is created. And especially in the spiritual matters, all the other Shastra, they wait outside only. They cannot enter. Only the Upanishad, Brahma Sutra, Bhagavad Gita, that means the Prasthanatraya, Bhagavata, Yoga Vasishtha. So these alone can enter into the spiritual matters, and all the other unnecessarily move around, beating around the bush. So therefore we should be always careful. This is the message given by Adi Shankaracharya. That's why in the Bhajagovinda Stotra also he says, Nahi nahi rakshati dukruni karane. In the Brahma Sutra, while commenting on the Sutra, Tarka apratishthanaadapi anyadhanume vityet evapi anirmoksha prasangaha. He says Tarka is useless. So all this is to alert us that we have single life, and this should be properly lived, and realization should be properly obtained, and life should not be wasted. Shrutyupapatibhyamcha siddham atmanah asamsaratvam ekatvacha. And on the strength of the scripture and on the strength of the logic reasoning, it is now fully established that the individual soul is not the migrating one, and it is one, not many. This is the ultimate theory of Advaita. Katham ekatvam. Okay, you say it is not transmigrating, but we find in all the bodies different souls. So there should be bahutva, there should be multiplicity of soul. How can you say there is only one soul? Shankaracharya says, yeah, that is said in the mantra. Sa yascha ayam aditye, sa yascha asau aditye, yascha purushaha, purushe sa ekaha. Sa yascha ayam purushe, sa yascha asau aditye, saha ekaha. So this makes it very clear that the energy flowing through in the sun and that flowing through this in this body is same. This is what exactly the Ishavasya Upanishad towards the end of the Upanishad tells us. That in the Ishavasya also the same thing is stated, that yascha aditye, yascha asmin purushe sa eka eva. That means there is only one energy in this body and in the body of the sun. Purvat sarvam. So this way we should connect all the passages of the Upanishad. Sa eva ya evam vitta lokat pretya etamannam atmanam upasankramya etam pranamaya atmanam upasankramya etam manomayam atmanam upasankramya etam vijnanamayam atmanam upasankramya etam anandam atmanam upasankramya iman lokan kamani kamarupi anusancharan etat sama gayannaste hau. This is Sama. Etat Sama Gayan Aste. He sings this Gama. What is this Samagana? Nothing but, he says, one who realizes this Brahman, the one here and outside, the same, and he, what does he do? After leaving this physical body, gradually he leaves the Annamaya, then he approaches the Pranamaya, he leaves it and approaches the Manomaya, he leaves it and approaches the Vijnanamaya, and finally he reaches the Anandamaya, and there Iman Lokan Kamani Kamarupi Anusancharan, then he gets the power of moving around anywhere in any form, because he has the capacity to move all worlds, and he chants, he recites, he sings this Sama mantra. Ha, ha, ha. This is actually Aho. That means in great ecstasy, he sees every universe as Brahman, and therefore he sings this Sama mantra. And Shankaracharya now explains, Annamayadi Kramena Anandamayam Atmanam Upasankramya Samagayan Aste. Satyam Jnanamityasya Rucho Artho Vyakyato Vistarena Tad Vivarana Bhutaya Anandavalya. So after completing his general comments on this Anuvaka, now Shankaracharya, he actually summarizes everything and finds if everything is left, and now he says, see, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. With this particular mantra, it has stated what is Brahman, and we have elucidated, elaborately discussed what is Satyam Jnanam Anantam, and Anandavalli was explained. So Shnute Sarvan Kaman Sahat Brahmana Vipaschita. In the second Valli, first mantra only it is stated that the Brahmajnani, he gets all the kama. That means he gets all the desires fulfilled along with the Brahman. So that is the state of moksha. Kete kim vishayava sarve kamaha. Actually, that mantra states the result. And what are the desires? What desires he will get? What will be the object of desire? And how does the realized soul enjoy everything along with Brahma? All these are the possible questions. Ityetad vaktavyam. So this should be properly explained. Iti idanim arabhyate. So therefore, now I again take some time to explain all these things. Shankaracharya says this and proceeds. Tatra Pita Putrakhyaikayam Purva Vidya Sheshabhutayam Tapo Brahma Vidya Sadhanamuktam. Though in the Anandavalli, through the episode of Bhrigu and Varuna, Bhrigurvai Varunesh Pitaravam Sansara, Upasasara Adhihi Bhagavo Brahmeti. So, through this particular episode, what is taught there is nothing but doing penance and tapa and having a very intent mind on the Brahman is the only means in self-realization. So, this is stated. Pranadehe Akashantasya cha karyasya annadattvena viniyogascha uttaha. And similarly, in that particular part only it is stated that starting from the prana to the akasha, all these should be understood and worshipped as anna and annada. Each one can become both anna and annada. Brahma Vishaya Upasananicha. And in the same context, the method of worshipping Brahman as Balam, Ojaha, Sahaha, Truptihi, etc. is stated. Echa sarve kamaha pratiyeta aneka sadhana sadhyaha. So whatever desires are there, each desire having different means and different goal. Akashadi karya bheda vishaya and having different products in the form of akasha, vayu, agni, etc. All these krama is explained. Ekatve punaha kama kamitva anupapattihi. So if it is oneself, then who will desire what? Because there is no other thing to desire for. If it is only one Brahman and one Atma, this kaman, sahashnute, etc. is not possible. Bheda jatasya sarvasya atma bhutatva. Because he, Shankaracharya, explains that all the Bheda has become his own form. So therefore, there is nothing apart from the self, Brahman. That is the only reality. Tatra katham yugavat brahmaswarupena sarvan kamana evam with samashnute. Now the problem is, how does the self-realized one enjoy all desires or get all the desires fulfilled along with the Brahman when there is only one reality? That is simultaneously becoming Brahma and enjoying everything are not possible. Now Shankaracharya says, Sarvatmatva upapattehe. Shankaracharya says, this is possible only when we understand as that particular soul becoming everything. Sarvam tat. Then only that can enjoy. Because wherever it is enjoying that, it is the Brahman. So therefore, it is possible. Katham sarvatmatva upapattihi. Explain that. Shankaracharya says, Purushadityastha atmaikatva vijnanena apohya utkarsha apakarsha bakarshav annamayadi atmanaha avidya kalpitan kramena sankramya. He explains step by step the entire process. He says, see, Purusha Adityastha Atmaikatva Vijnanena. So, towards the end of this present Anuvaka, in the last mantra only it is stated that the energy that is present in the sun and in the body is same. And this is the beginning. This is Atma Ekatva Vijnana. That means the science of singleness of the soul. Then, Aposhya Utkarsha Apakarsha. And just discarding the possibility of having something inferior, all that. Annamayadi Atmano Avidya Kalpitan. Then all the false selves as Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, they also are rejected. Then Sankramaya. So from the lower to the higher, gradually proceeding. Anandamayan Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma Adrushyadi Dharmakam. Then he gets to the Anandamaya. Then realizes Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. And this Brahma is Adrishye, Anatme, Anirukte, Anilayane. So it is stated in the Taittiriya Upanishad that the true, that reality, the Brahman is beyond the reach of the senses. One cannot see, hear, touch, smell, nothing. And the Brahman is having no any body like the gross body, subtle body, causal body, nothing. So that kind of Brahma, Swabhavika, Ananda, Ajam Amrutam Abhayam Advaitam Phalabhutam Apanna Iman Lokan Bhuradin Anusancharaniti Vyavahitena Sambandha. So after getting to that particular Brahman, then Brahma being everything, so he also becomes everything. Then that Brahman is Ananda, Aja, Amrita, Abhaya, and that is Advaita Brahma. And that is the result. And he becomes, the worshipper becomes that. Then he becomes all the worlds, then he can move anywhere like the Brahman. Katham Anusancharan, how can he reach everybody, everywhere? Kamani, Kamataha Annamasyeti Kamani, Tadha, Kamato Rupani Asyeti Kamarupi. So he becomes, as per his desire, he can enjoy everything. As per his desire, he can assume any form. That realized soul. Anusancharan Sarvatmatvena Iman Lokan Atmatvena Anubhavan. Anusancharan in the sense enjoying, experiencing all the worlds as the self. Etat Sama Gayan Naste. Ultimately, he sings this particular Sama mantra. Samatvad Brahmaiva Sama Sarvananya Rupam Gayan Shabdayan Atmaikatvam Prakyapayan Lokanugrahartham Tad Vijnana Phalam Cha Ativa Kritarthatvam Gayan Aste Tishtati. So that particular, because Brahma is Samatvam Brahma Uchyate, it is the balanced state. And that Brahma becomes Sama. And that itself is now singing. Gayan Shabdayan Atmaikatvam Prakyapayan. Now it actually illuminates that everything is nothing but the Atman. Now this is the Vijnana Phalam. This is the fruit of that realization. Kritarthatvam Tishtha. So it is actually fulfillment. And thus it remains that the ultimate reality. Katham Aho iti etasmin arthe atyanta vismaya khyapanartham. So when that particular one sings, it is matter of great wonder. So therefore, when they are put together, aho means ascharyam. So thus it is stated. Kaf punaraso vismayaha. Why that's wonder? What kind of wonder? Ahamannam, ahamannam, ahamannam. It says, I am the Advaita Atma, Niranjanopi San. I am actually secondless. I am the one reality. And I am Niranjanaha. That means I am never influenced by anything, unanointed. Ahameva Annam. And I am the Anna. I become the Anna. Ahamannado, hamannado, hamannadaha. And not only that, I am the Annada. I am the enjoyer. So simultaneously, I am assuming two forms. One, the food, and other, the eater of the food. Kincha. Ahaggushloka ahaggushloka aham shloka Shloko nama anna annadayoha sanghataha. What is shloka here? It is nothing but the group of both food and its eater. The group itself is shloka. And I am that. I am everything. I am this. I am this. In this way, the Brahman gets it. Ahamasmi prathamaja rita asya purvam devebhyo mrutasya ना भाई यो मा ददाति सैदेव मा वाह अहमन्नम अहवदन्तम आद्मि अहम विश्वं भुवनम अन्यमभावाम सुवर्ण ज्योति य एवं वेद इत्युपनिषत्. It says, now the realized one, he now looks around and finds nothing but his self. Then अन्नस्यैव परार्थस्य आनन्दार्थस्य सतः अनेकास्य पारार्थ्येन हेतुना संघातकृत्. Because this annam is for other, and it is the cause of happiness. Anekatmakasya pararthyena hetuna sanghatakrit, and thus the single Brahman creates everything for others. Triruktir vismayatva khyapanartha. And in the Upanishad, the repetition 3 times is only to throw light on the wonder, how wonderful it is, only to show that ahamasmi, I am what? Prathamaja, that means I am the firstborn. Satyasya murto murtasya jagataha, and I am the firstborn of all the manifested and unmanifested. And even devebhyascha purvam, and I am the reality even before the creation of all the deva. Amritasya nabhai, nabhai, that means nabhi, and I am the central position of all immortality. This Atma is the central pivotal place of all the immortality. It is not outside, it is nowhere, but in the Atman. Then Nabhir Madhyam Mat Samstham Amritatvam Praninam Ityarthaha. So this says here that it is like Nabhi. Nabhi is in the central place of the body. Similarly, this is the center of all the immortality. Matsamstham amritatvam pranam. So therefore, all immortality of all the beings is situated in the Atma. Yakaschin mam annam annarthibhyo dadati. So whoever offers me to the Annarthi, this is very beautiful, that whoever seeks some food, and if the person offers food, it's actually through food he is approaching the person, and in the form of that particular soul he is actually eating that. So it is like brahmarpanam brahmahavi brahmagno brahmana hutam. So everywhere there is only soul. Annatmana braviti sa iditham evam avinishtam yathabhutam ava avati. So one who takes, one who gives. So the word is, he actually protects him. Yav punaranyo mam adatva arthipyah kale prapte annamatti. Without giving to the beggars or the people who really need it, when one eats oneself, then bhakshayantam purusham aham annameva samprati admi. Then the food says, I will eat this person, because without sharing, this person is eating. So thus, annam should always be shared. Annam should be given to the needy. So this is the message very clear here. Atra aha evam tarhi bibhemi sarvatmatva prapter mokshat astu samsara eva yato muktopi aham annabhuta adyahasyan annasya. So now naturally doubt arises. Now the doubting person says, okay, if I am eaten there, then better I get samsara only, not the moksha, because in moksha also the same state. In samsara I am being eaten, and in the state of moksha also if I am eaten, what is the use? Then evam ma bhaishyihi, Shankaracharya says, don't fear. Samvyavahara vishayatvat sarvakamashanasya atitya ayam sam vyavahara vishayam anna annadadi lakshanam avidyakritam vidyaya brahmatvam apanno vidwan tasya naiva dvitiyam vastvantaram asti yato bibheti ato na bhetavyam mokshat. Then he says, Are, don't fear from liberation, because generally people are afraid of liberation, because in liberation they lose their identity. So I become Brahman, which itself has no identity. Then Shankaracharya explains Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma is the identity, so we will become that. But people of ordinary intelligence say, better we have this samsara instead of the moksha, because in samsara also the same thing happens. Shankaracharya says, no. The thing is, it is only the vyavahara, samvyavahara vishayatva, sarva kamashanasya. So everything, that means all getting all desires and fulfilling all desires, this is only ephemeral. It is only the vyavaharika. It is not absolute. So samyavahara vishayam annadadi lakshanam avidya kritam. So all this becoming food and becoming the eater of food, all this actually is within the avidya. So therefore don't fear. Vidwan tasya naiva dvitiyam vastvantaramastyato bibheti. So it was already stated that dvitiyadvai bhayam bhavati ekaki na bibheti. So therefore all fear is because of other thing. And when one has become Brahma, there cannot be any other thing. Therefore there should not be any fear. So don't fear. In the state of moksha, there cannot be any cause of moksha, bhayam, fear also. Because moksha means singleness. When there is single entity, there cannot be fear. Even shoka, moha, nothing is possible there. Because the cause of all these emotions, that is mana, is gone. Na shokaha, na mohaha, ekatvam anuvashyataha. So that is Upanishad. Evam tarhi kimidamaha ahamannam ahamannada iti uchyate. Yoyam anna annadadi lakshanaha samvyavaharaha karyabhutaha. Now, how do you say that the same person becomes annam and annada, food and the eater? Shankaracharya says, yes, I'll tell you. See, all this is only a kind of vyavahara, not absolute, but only vyavahara. And this vyavahara is a kind of projection. What anna, annada, one is food, other is the eater. This is only vyavahara. And this karyabhutaha, a product, sa samvyavahara matrameva. So therefore, na paramartha vastu. This should not be taken, whatever has been explained here, should not be taken as indicating the ultimate reality, but it is only temporary reality. Sa evam bhutopi brahma nimitto brahma vyatirekena asanniti kritva brahma vidya karyasya brahma bhavasya stutyartham uchyate. Then why does the Upanishad say, if it is not absolute, if it is not paramarthika, it is only vyavahara, why should the scripture say? Shankaracharya says, yes, whatever is there is produced from the Brahman. Without Brahman it is not there. And Brahma Vidya Karyasya Brahma Bhavanasya Stutyartham Uchyate. So all this has been elucidated or explained in detail for the reason that it praises the liberation in the form of becoming the Brahman. So when one becomes the Brahman, this is the result. So only to extol this particular state, all this is described. Ahamannam, ahamannam, ahamannam. So all the while it is repeated. I am the food, I am the food, I am the food. Ahamannado, ahamannado, ahamannadaha. I am the eater, I am the eater, I am the eater. Ataha. So therefore, mama, maya, yes, ataha. Bhayadi dosha gandhopi avidya nimitto avidya uchedad brahmabhutasya nastiti. So therefore all this fear etc. which is caused by avidya is not there in the state of moksha, because that avidya is removed. Nimittapaye naimittikasyapi apayaha is the Sanskrit grammar rule. In the Sanskrit grammar there is a rule. Nimittapaye naimittikasyapi apayaha. So when the cause is gone, the effect is also gone. So when fear etc. is produced or created because of avidya, and when avidya is removed, then there is no fear, etc. So thus, all these emotions are a result of avidya or ignorance. Aham vishwam samastam bhuvanam bhutaihi sambhajaniyam brahmadibhir bhavantiti yasmin bhutani iti bhuvanam abhi abhavam abhibhavami parena ishwarena swarupena. Now Shankaracharya explains the Vedic, the Upanishadic part. Aham vishwam samastam bhuvanam. Bhuvanam means that which is resorted by all the beings. That means where all beings live. That is the bhuvanam. Or brahmadivir bhavanti va asminiti bhuvanam. That means all the Brahma, etc. They also resort to that. Therefore, it is bhuvanam. And I have now become the bhuvanam. Why? How? Parena ishwarena swarupena. So in the form of that great Ishvara, now I have become everything. And it says, Suvarna Jyotihi, Suvaha, Suvaha Rakara. That means Swaha. Swaha means Swarga. And Na means here not negative. Na means here, like in the Nirukta it is stated, Na is used here in the sense of similarity. Suvarna Jyotihi. That means that effulgence like the Swargaloka. Adityeva Sukrut Sakrut Vibhatam Asmadiyam Jyoti Jyotihi Prakasha Ityarthaha. So it means that only the self-effulgence itself is like the effulgence of the sun, and it is the Swar Jyotihi, it is the grandeur or the glow of the Swargaloka. Iti. And with this, Vallidvaya Vihita, Upanishad Paramatma Jnanam. So in the Valli, whatever has been given as the essence of the Upanishad, that Paramatma Jnanam, that is the knowledge of the Supreme Soul, Tam Etam Yathoktam Upanishadam, and this kind of Upanishad, Shantaha Dantaha Uparataha Titikshuhu Samahitaha Bhutva, only controlling your external senses, controlling your inner sense organ mind, and Uparataha, totally contentful, Titikshuhu, enduring everything, all the dualities, Samahitaha Bhutva, and being completely placed within, not influenced by external outside world, and being in absolute peace within, Bhruguvat Tapaha Mahad Asthaya. So like Bhrugu, one should perform great penance, rigorous penance. Yaha evam Veda, whoever inside, that means realizes this particular knowledge, Tasya idam phalam. Who, that person alone, what does he get? He will get this kind of result in the form of the liberation expounded in this part of Upanishad. So already moksha is explained, but not that everybody is entitled for that. Even a criminal, even a bad person of bad character, all that. Because unless we have a chaste mind, this knowledge will not enter into our heart. It may enter into our brain. We may deliver big discourses also, but that does not get into the heart, and we will not get that chastity. That is the problem. So therefore Shankaracharya, even it is not there in the mantra, warns us against an unchaste life, unpious life, that if we have no control on our senses, on our mind, on our desires, and immediately if we let ourselves come out on the strength of the influence of the Prakriti, then we cannot expect the self-realization as propounded in the Upanishad, and therefore the liberation also as stated in the Upanishad will not be a matter of experience. So therefore he says, be pious, lead a chaste life, help others, and be contentful. So these are all actually in Ashtanga Yoga also, Patanjali Maharshi reiterated here. Iti, iti Bhruguvalyam Dashamaha Anuvakaha. So this is the 10th Anuvaka in the Bhruguvalli of this one, Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad. Iti Srimad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacharya Govinda Bhagavat Pujapada Shishya Srimad Shankara Bhagavatah Kritau Taittiriya Upanishad Bhashye Bhruguvalli Samapta Samapteyam Krishna Yajurvediya Taittiriya Upanishad. So this way, the Taittiriya Upanishad ends here with the Bhruguvalli ending, and we have completed the Taittiriya Upanishad original text along with Shankara Bhashya, and in the colophon it is stated the Shankaracharya's Bhashya written by Adi Shankaracharya, the disciple of Bhagavad Pada. He is actually that Govinda Bhagavat Pada. So it is really wonderful experience, and I thank you all the spiritual seekers and the sadhaka and the siddha whoever may be there, because it is I would like to tell you very frankly that always I consider each class as part of Swadhyaya only. So I am teaching myself, and if any other person is also benefited, I think really I am fortunate. So this way we come to the end of this Taittiriya Upanishad Bhashya, and again through this Advaita Academy we will be meeting very frequently, taking different texts, tough texts also. So we will gradually study some important texts of Advaita and get some real insight into spiritual life. There are several projects hereafter also. So we will plan and meet again. So thank you so much. Namo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
There is one question from Mr. Basavaraj.
Yes, sir.
He's asking, is Ananda in Anandamaya Kosha and Ananda in Satchidananda are same or different? Can you please clarify this confusion?
Yeah, wonderful, sir. Because it shows that sir is following. That question is very apt, because Satchit Ananda, there is Ananda. But here it is Ananda Maya. So Maya is extra. So now this particular question is the subject matter of Brahma Sutra Anandamaya Adhikarana. The sixth section of the first pada in the first adhyaya of Brahma Sutra, that starts with Anandamayo Bhyasat, and it discusses that whether Anandamaya is Brahma or what. And there also the same question is posed, that everywhere Brahma is indicated by the words Ananda, not Anandamaya. Only in the Taittiriya Upanishad it is Anandamaya. So therefore the problem arises that whether it is, that means the Brahman, whether it is Ananda or Anandamaya, and why Maya is added. So that's why Shankaracharya said, from Annamaya to Anandamaya, all this is Maya. Maya has two meanings that we had seen last time also. Maya gives the meaning of a modification, vikara, and Maya, when added to any Sanskrit word, means in abundance, like Annamayaha Yajnaha. That means that yajna in which there is food in abundance. Similarly, Darumayaha something, Visheshaha. Then Darumaya, Daru means wood in Sanskrit. So Darumaya means wooden. Darumayi Puttalika, that means something, some toy out of wood, wooden toy. So this way, Maya, when it is attached, it says the inferior state. But in comparison with other Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, the four, Anandamaya is the highest. So therefore, naturally one understands that Annamaya may not be Brahma, Pranamaya is not, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya are not. But ultimately, we come to the Anandamaya and stay there, because there is no no further progress or no Maya further. So therefore, Anandamaya should be the last. And if it is Anandamaya, is it a sheath, kosha, or is it Brahma? But Shankaracharya explained in his Bhashya on the Anandamaya section that it is Paramatma. In what sense? Not in the sense of modification. That sense is taken in the words Annamaya, Manomaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya. In the four, the Maya is in the sense of product modification. But when it comes to Anandamaya, that Maya changes its sense. Shankaracharya says, only in this word, the suffix Maya means abundance. Therefore, Anandamaya means Ananda in abundance. That is possible only in the Brahman. Therefore, Anandamaya is the Brahman. But Anando Brahmeti Vyajanat. In that particular state only, he realizes that the Ananda is the Brahma in the Anandamaya. So therefore, Anandamaya and Ananda, I would like to make it once again clear that Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, in all the four, that Maya is in the sense of product or modification. In relation with that, Anandamaya is the state of Brahman only, but Maya added. Therefore, it cannot be pure state of Brahma. Ananda is the Brahma. But abundance of Ananda is referred to with the word Anandamaya. Abundance. And it says, because Brahman is Ananda, that Brahman gives Ananda to all of us. Tadhetu vyapadeshacha. It says, mantra varnikameva cha giyate. This is the Brahma Sutra. And it tells us that whoever has something in abundance, profuse, he can give to others. When Brahman has that Ananda in abundance, he can give that to others. But somebody says, Brahman has Ananda in abundance, means he may have other thing also. Then, to ward off this doubt, the Bhashyakara explains that Ananda is Brahma. Therefore, Ananda is also a state lower to that. So, Anandam Brahma, Anando Brahma, this is proper.
So Anandamaya is a sheath and is not the Brahmananda, whereas in Satchidananda, the Ananda is the pure bliss and the ultimate bliss, and which is experienced. So that is the ultimate Brahma.
Yes, yes, sir. But whatever is there, because in the last Anuvaka itself, he has stated that Annam, Annada, they are also Brahma. Therefore, in Annamaya Kosha, there cannot be any other thing than Brahma. In Manomaya Kosha, Manayityupasita, it is also Brahma. In Prana, Prano Brahmeti Vyajanat. So, these are all Brahma only, but these alone are not the Brahma, because from the gross to the subtle, he is actually going now. So, therefore, at one stage, this much is Brahma, yes, Brahma. But this much is not Brahma, then he gets into another. So this way, Annamayam Atmanam Upasankramya, Pranamayam Atmanam Upasankramya. So why to elaborate in this manner if everything is Brahman? So this is a process of this Upasana from Annamaya to Anandamaya. Otherwise, all of a sudden, if it is only Pranamaya in between, so people will focus on Pranamaya. They will not bother about Annamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya. So that should be a gradual exposition. For that, there is Panchakosha Vivritti. And these kosha, generally it is in the Advaita Vedanta, are the products of avidya. And therefore, they are only conditional, they say. But in their pure form, Annam is also Brahma. But the Jiva attached with Annamaya, that Annam is not, he is only Jiva. So the condition
Yeah.
is avidya. As long as avidya is there, he will be having a misidentity that I am the physical body. No, you are that, but you are not just that. So go to the pranamaya. Then he realizes, oh, I am the prana. But within that, there is another, my own form. Yes, get to that, get to that. So it is like this, sir. See, when something is projected at the grosser level, like all the matter in the universe, like the compounds, the chemical compounds. So to the children, we show the water and say in the childhood, this is water in the bottle, water. Then the child learns that much. This is water. Then as he grows into that, grows up, and he learns that there are elements like hydrogen, oxygen. Then in the higher classes, he will learn about bond between these hydrogen, oxygen bond. And he understands, not in the first class or second class, gradually. And ultimately he gets into the electron, proton, whatever it is, hydrogen, what is the constitution, oxygen. And then he peeps into that. Then he understands, oh, atoms, nucleus, all this. Then again, then he gets into that. And when he becomes a great scientist, he realizes that everything is energy field. Nothing is there like matter. So what happened to all the other? They are real.
Yeah.
But they are not the ultimate reality that is there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And there are a few appreciation messages for you. We are very grateful to you, Mahodaya, for sharing with us valuable insights of Taittiriya Upanishad by
Yeah,
Basaraj Garu. And
yeah.
Sri Yashpal Singh ji, he is saying knowledge which you imparted and explained in a very beautiful way is amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you to these great souls. I am really blessed, and this has given me enough encouragement to again proceed. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.